Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Slash Camp. Almir Miel here, and I know it's been a really long time since I've posted a video. I do apologize. One reason, and the biggest reason right now, is the fact that I literally, about 2 hours ago, just got back from a road trip. Went out to Denver, Colorado from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and got to see two of my good friends get married. Yay! Congratulations to them. It was a beautiful wedding. It was very quick. The ceremony, I think, lasted maybe 30 minutes, if that. And then the reception went till about 10 o'clock at night, which was just, it was beautiful. It was at the Denver Aquarium. And again, congratulations, you two. So, it was just a very long road trip. I'm not functioning all the way because I literally just got back. And I took one of my good friends out with me, mainly because I didn't want to drive. Or rather, I didn't want to drive by myself. But it actually ended up being very, very nice. If everyone has been familiar with Teolger, he's been on a couple of my live streams. He and I went out to Denver, Colorado. So he was nice enough to drive pretty much the whole way and the whole way back. So thank you, Teolga. Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver. But yeah, the trip all around ended up being 4,015 miles. That was the whole trip, though. So I'm very glad to be out of a car right now. It's been a long week, very long week. And I did manage to get to see a couple sites that I'd never seen before. This is my second time being out west, but the first time was me flying to Las Vegas with Evo, and when I flew out, I didn't get to see much. I got to see landing into the Las Vegas area, and it was like nothing. There literally was just the city. So this is my first time actually getting to go out west and seeing all the beautiful sights that I've been able to fortunately see. So on my way out, we stopped through, I can't think of, St. Louis, and I actually got to go up inside of the St. Louis Arch, which was very awesome, minus the fact that I am afraid of heights like crazy. It wasn't too bad. Got up there, and being enclosed in something, I'm fine. But if it's just like, okay, go stand on this, or be up this height, I can't do. But I was enclosed, so it was okay. I got to see out the window, but I was still very nervous to go up to the window. But that was awesome. I was very surprised that it didn't, like, move. So it was very sturdy, and that was one of the things. I think if it started moving, I would have freaked out. And so thankfully it wasn't on a windy day. And then I went to Cahokia, which is a Indian, I don't want to say reserve, but monument of some kind. I don't want to put it, very naive, and I don't quite get most of history and certain things, but it was very, very interesting to experience. Teolger knew everything that was there, and I kind of got a little bit of a history lesson from it, but got to see what was considered like Stonehenge, but it was all these wooden poles, and then it always reminded me of a sundial because there's one in the middle and then all the outside edges, and we didn't unfortunately get to walk into it, but I got to see it from the car, which was pretty massive. These poles were like humongous, and that was pretty cool. And I have to give kudos to this one guy who we saw out there, who at the main thing was the Monk's Mound, and there was these stairs that go up to it, so you can go up to the top and see everything out. Well, there's this one guy that was literally running up and down these steps, and it was so hot. It was like, I want to say probably 90 something out. Oh, sorry, I got something in my eye. Ah. It's still there, but oh well. But it was like 90 something out, and it was noon. It was so miserable, and he was literally like booking it up and down these stairs, and these stairs were steep. And the entire time I'm watching him do this, I'm thinking of Rocky and the training. So, I mean, that guy gets so many kudos. Like, you go, guy. Whoever you are awesome. Because I was out there and I took like maybe 20 steps and was just like, it's so hot out here. Why did I agree to come out here? So, but yeah, it was a really cool experience, at least. So, that was on the way out. So, it was St. Louis Arch, and then to Cahokia, and then ended up getting into Denver, Colorado. And then from Denver, we actually took a trip up north and then across. So I got to see Devil's Tower, which was amazing view, absolutely breathtaking. I'd never known what Devil's Tower was until I got there. So it was one of those, like, get out of the car and look up and you're just like, oh my god, this is standing right in front of me right now. So that was absolutely spectacular. Guys, go Google it. I know pictures won't do it justice, but it is definitely an amazing thing to see. And then, of course, being out that way, we went to see Mount Rushmore and the Crazy Horse Monument. And when we went to Mount Rushmore, it was my first time actually taking a helicopter ride. It was a very short helicopter ride. It was only 6 miles, so it was like take up, hover, and then land. And I think that was like it. So it was like my first ride, and I was really nervous because it was so small. It was literally a 4-seater, and it was like this dome that went around you, and it was just so small, and the wind currents, oh my god. So we go to take off, and we're heading out, and we're like hovering up, and then suddenly the wind just takes us, and we're just like, the pilot was just like, no, it's okay. And I'm just getting like laughed at because I'm just like, okay. And then it like drops a little bit because the air current, and I'm just like, okay. And I jump every single time, but it was very, very, very fun, and I want to do it again. And next time, if I can get out there, I want to do a longer flight because they sold based on how many miles. So it was like $50 for the introductory, and it was per person. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to react to being in a helicopter, so I didn't want to get into a really long flight and start freaking out and then waste my money. So I was just like, I'm going to do the introductory flight, see how it works, and I want to go back and I want to do it again so much. So that was awesome. And then I spent like maybe 5 minutes at the Mount Rushmore, because it was like walk up, see the president's end, and then it's like, oh, yeah, okay, and walk back. So to me, it wasn't that exciting. Then I went to the Crazy Horse Monument, which isn't finished. And guys, I'm going to send out a huge shout out. The reason it's not finished is because it is privately funded, which means contributions, donations, people who are like, I want to see this finished, hand over money, because that's the only way it's going to get finished. And there's only currently, I think they said, 7 or 8 people working on getting it finished. So the more money they can get, the more people they can hire to finish it. So if you guys get the chance, go up, see it, donate, or I think they have a place on their website that you can donate. But if you are huge into the Indian history and heritage, please, please, please send a couple bucks their way. I know when I was up there, you get the admission cost, and then they had a place that was rocks, and it was part of the debris when they blasted some of the part of the mountain out. So you actually got to take these rocks home, but they asked for something little. You could put $1 in the box, put $5 in the box, whatever you felt this piece of history was worth. And so I just kept like, oh, well, I don't want a rock, but I run up, put $1 in, run up, put $1 in. So it was very nice. I did actually come home with one, which was pretty cool. But it was like this big, and I was just like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with you when I get home. So it's currently still sitting in the car. But yeah, so that was really cool. And then I think that was really like all the major places that I got to really see. Kansas was awesome at night because there was nothing around, so you could just see stars. And that is like the most amount of stars that I'd seen in a long, long time. there's a place that's kind of near to where I am called Jamansville, which is a Christian retreat camp. And every summer they do like a children's camp, which is, I did that a couple of years when I was little, itty bitty kitty. So I did that, and they would shut off all the camp lights, and you can look up and let your eyes adjust and see all the stars. Now that was awesome, but it was nowhere near compared to the amount of stars you got to see on these back roads in Kansas and Nebraska. It was just gorgeous. So yeah, I'm very excited to experience all this. And then of course I was more excited to get home because I was just so tired of being in a car. And it was, I think, 21 hours to go out. And then because we took a little detour and we went up a couple more states, it was like roughly 30 hours to get back home. So that was a little bit of a tougher drive because I had to we had to drive that one day, pretty much. So I was like, oh, I'm so glad to get home, and I'm getting to sleep in my own bed, and it's amazing. And I really want to thank like the person who managed to actually spend the week and house sit my 2 dogs and my 2 cats, because I wouldn't have been able to go anywhere if I didn't have him to actually house sit. So thank you for house sitting. That was awesome. I noticed my cats like really hate when I leave, because then they start shredding things that don't need to be shredded and peeing on things, and they just get very angsty. And I come walking in the house and I'm just like, oh, it reeks. Oh, I'm so sorry, cats. I was like, it reeks. So tomorrow, not tonight because I really just want to get in and rest, but tomorrow is going to be clean house day, and then it's going to of course be work afterwards. But we really need to get the house clean now. And it happened every single time I've left. The cats are just like, you know what? Mom's gone. We hate this. Rawr. So, poor kitties. The dogs, however, have been like really just, oh my god, you're home. They didn't really tear anything. I had a problem with with Priest, the bigger one of the 2, where she gets really excited when I come back home, and she just kind of like tinkles across the floor. She's like, oh my god! And then it's like wet spot that follows behind her, and I'm just like, ugh. Well, the cat's already peed there, so I guess I'm just gonna clean that up too. So it's not been too bad. Everyone's very excited to see everyone back home. So yay! I did, however, I was on my way home in the last couple hours. I'm just like, I ordered stuff from Tea Fury. Let's hope it got in. And I was very disappointed because it was one of those grab bags where you're just like, I'm gonna buy shirts and hope for the best. And I opened it up and went, I have no idea what that is. I'm never gonna wear these shirts. And one was Flight of the Conchords, like 2 of the people from that. I have no idea. I think it's music. I have no idea. Shame on me, apparently, because there's a lot of people that are just like, yeah, that's awesome, congratulations. And I'm like, I'm never gonna wear this shirt. And I actually, I would show you guys, but I buried it in my clothes. I was just like, I'll find this again later at some point and be like, oh, this awful shirt, let's put it away. And then the other one was like a comic cover that had Snoopy as a fighter pilot for World War I. And I was just like, I'm never gonna wear this either. This sucks. Aww. But I was very happy because there was one shirt that I really did. I bought, and I knew what was coming. And it was my my Doctor Who shirt. And this was pretty cool. So, no, it's very, very awesome. But I knew I had bought that one. And then, because I wanted to thank Tioga for driving out, I had ended up getting a grab bag for him. And I'm so jealous. I wish I would have gotten this shirt. And it's the from Pacific Rim, the kaiju. So I was I was very jealous of that shirt. I was just like, oh, why couldn't I have gotten something awesome and geeky and, oh. Because I buy T-Fury shirts, like, all the time. I mean, you guys knew when I was doing these videos, like, almost daily, I'd have, like, a new shirt. So, I'm just like, this really sucks, because I know I'm not going to want to buy another grab bag. So, I'm just like, whatever. Which kind of brought me down a little bit, because the last grab bag I did, I ended up getting my Bounty Hunter shirt, which was Metroid. And I was like, that is a really awesome shirt. I'm so upset I missed it, and I really wanted something that I would have been like, thank you, T-Fury. But now I'm just like, I spent money on 2 shirts that I'm never gonna wear. Oh well. So, impulse buys. But yeah. So, that was pretty much my trip. I'm gonna come back home. I'm like, come back home? I'm already home! No, I was gonna say, now that I'm home, I have work literally this upcoming weekend, so it's gonna be completely busy. The Ren Fair is actually in town for the next month, which is pretty excited. I made a couple of friends from the Ren Fair that I just go hang out with, and that's awesome. So I'm gonna be very tired because it only runs until 5 o'clock, and then I work at 7. So I have to get up really early and then just stay awake the whole day and then go to work. So it's, I get very tired very easily with that. But I've been decently okay with like getting up early. I want to say decently, but I know if I get the chance to sleep, I'm just going to sleep. And I'm afraid I'm going to screw up my sleep schedule. But I'm so exhausted. I'm just like, I just want to go to bed. Let me sleep. Because hotel beds were awful. Oh, and, okay. Hotel story. Hotel that I stayed at, which was the Hyatt Regency, that was connected to the convention center at Denver, is a very awful hotel. Now, for one, I don't really like Hyatt to begin with. Sorry if any representatives from Hyatt are watching this, but they're awful. Because when I went to Washington, D.C., there were like 7 Hyatts. And they were all named exactly the same. And it was just so awful trying to find the right hotel. I had to end up going to like 4 different Hyatts looking for where my reservation was at. I was just like, screw this. So luckily, I knew which Hyatt I was staying in because there was 2. There was one south and then one at the convention center. But I knew it was at the convention center. But when I get in there, I was like, oh, this is smooth. This is okay. Apparently, part of the wedding party was having issues getting like signed into the hotel. They wanted a credit card, and we were told the hotel was taken care of. Everything was fine. You didn't have to pay for anything. We had room service taken care of. Like, if we needed phone calls, if we needed anything put to the hotel room, parking was covered. So we weren't supposed to pay anything. Well, when I went in there, I was fine. It was perfectly fine. It didn't ask for anything. Just asked to see my ID, and that was it. But the rest of the wedding party, a couple of people, had issues where they're like, oh, well, we have to charge $130 some to your account, and make sure you have a credit card on the account in case things... No. If people say things are covered, things should be covered, not the guests have to pay for them. So, several of us were pretty pissed that they were making us put, like, credit cards on the account and stuff like that, and then charging, and yeah. Like me, I literally only had a set amount of money that was in my account that I took in cash, and that was it. That was all the money I had, so if it ran out, I wouldn't get back home. And so, I was like, oh, thank God, I didn't have to, like, put money down or do anything with that. So I was very fortunate. But the bed was awful. It was so uncomfortable. It was awful. And these are, like, $160 rooms. Like, they are supposed to be, like, really top-notch rooms. Awful. So the bed was awful. And then when you get in there, it's so small. It was like, I had no place to put anything. There was no room for anything. And it was just like, the tub was so small, like I want to get in there and I want to lounge out and I want to take a nice little soak, and it was so small. It was smaller than my bathtub here. And I have an original like cast iron tub that's in the floor, and it's tiny. These tubs were smaller. It was so, And then to think, we had room service that was taken care of, and I didn't want to rank up a bill and stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, if I need breakfast, I'll get breakfast or something, but I have money that I can get food with. I don't have to put it on the room. But one morning I ordered room service because I had to get out the door and we were going to get hair and makeup done, and literally I had no time to go somewhere else and get breakfast. So I was like, oh, I'll get room service, it's okay. They said I could, and the food was awful. And they were charging like $15 for a bowl of oatmeal, and it was just, I didn't even finish it. It was just so bad, and I hate wasting food, especially when it's like so expensive. But it was so horrible. It was so bad. But yeah, I mean, I had the hotel experience. I will never book another Hyatt hotel ever again. Ever. So they need to change it real quick if they want, because you know what the best advertising is word of mouth. And if more and more people say that the Hyatt was just an awful experience, guess what? You're not going to have clientele. So, on that note of things, the internet was also just crap. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't even go on YouTube. Nothing. You could get your email and that was it. And that was just like, I felt like I was on dial-up again. And they offered these high-speed internet, and I was just like, this isn't high-speed internet. It really isn't. So, yeah. I just realized this video is 22 minutes long so far, and I'm just like, rant. But anyhow, so yeah. That's where I've been. A lot of the other stuff was me just kind of chillaxing for the summer, and I did go through a little bit of a rough patch in my life, and I didn't want to be on camera, and I didn't want people to perceive whatever the word is, to see me as a depressed person. Because, I mean, how many times have you guys watched everything else? And I'm just like, and it was just like, guys, okay, so I did this. It's not gonna make for a good video. So I was just like, you know what? Until I feel better and I feel more comfortable, I'm just done making videos. And that's kind of what happened. And the trip really kind of like cheered me up and made my life go, oh, I got to see these awesome things. Life isn't so bad. So this is my yay. So, but yeah. So now that I got back, I have a couple things that I want to do. I would honestly, one of my things is I'd like to look for a new place. This place is getting a little small for me. Not so much because of how much stuff's here, but it's just, I hate being in the same location if I'm not happy. I want to find some place that's going to make me happy, and this place is kind of just like, kind of making me depressed, kind of making me not really want to be here anymore. So I'm going to try and go house shopping, not quite buy a house, but like find other places that would be bigger and nicer and more modern, instead of, I mean, I still have wood paneling on my walls, and this is a chimney, guys. This was a chimney that got like plaster over top of it so that the bottom chimney, like where you put the fire, is closed. And on the other side in my living room, it's open, and it makes no sense. So, but yeah, so I'm definitely gonna see about heading out and finding a new place and a new location. So hopefully you guys don't get to see this love seat anymore, because this love seat's awful. I want a computer chair again. But my dog just informed me that I apparently have someone that was knocking on my door, and so I'm gonna head off of here, and I shall see you guys at another time, hopefully sooner than later. And I shall see you guys later. Have fun!